Hey, what's up guys, it's Swastik here. So in this video I'm gonna do a 1-year ownership review of this bike, like this SF250. Last week my bike completed 1 year and I decided to kind of give my experience, like tell you how my experience was with this bike in the past year. So because a lot of videos on YouTube they are about first rides and first reactions, right, of the bike. They don't give you the complete picture, the long-term picture of how the bike is going to perform and what sort of issues you will face, etc, etc. So whoever is planning for this bike, right, this Gixxer SF250, this ownership review will be particularly helpful for them because it is going to give them a long-term picture of what they might expect with this bike. So yeah, before we get started, I have divided this video, like my review, my ownership review, into 7 segments. We are going to start with the like the design of the bike, like what I feel about the design, and then we are gonna go to the build, like how the bike is built and all of that. Then we are gonna move to the features. I'm gonna tell particularly about the I'm gonna tell about the features that I particularly love on this bike, like the for example, this what all is good in this instrument console. I'm gonna talk about the things that I don't like feature wise, which I think might have been included or missed, things like that. Then we are gonna move to then we are going to talk about the performance of the bike. Like this is would be the most important segment for most of you guys, I would say. So we are going to talk about performance. Then we are going to move to comfort. This is also another important aspect. After that we are going to talk about reliability of the bike, like in the past 1 year, what I what my experience was in terms of reliability, what issues I found with the bike, etc. Then we are going to talk about the service and maintenance. We are going to talk about about the bike maintenance. I mean, how much maintenance this bike needs, what all you have to do, etc. And then what all you have to do, and then and then I'm going to talk about my experience with the Suzuki service centers. I have explicitly included this because we'll get to the segment, we'll talk about it, but it is something to be noted, the Suzuki service, if you're planning to buy this bike. So yeah, and then finally we are going to conclude the video with a verdict. So yeah, so that was so these are the important segments that I'm going to cover in this video. This is going to be a very detailed video, but I feel it is going to be it should be very helpful. I mean, all the points are going to be important from an ownership point of view. So yeah, I'll put the timeline of all of these segments in the description below, so if you want to skip to individual ones, you can just go there from the description. So yeah, let's get started. Let me find a spot somewhere on the side and we'll get started with this ownership experience slash review. So let's get started. So we'll start with the design of the bike. So overall I don't have any complaints with the design, except for one. I mean, we'll talk about it. It's the front part. So overall, but otherwise I don't have any complaints about the design. I find that the design is very neat, and there aren't a lot of creases in the overall design of the bike, and that to me it kind of makes it look like a bigger capacity motorcycle. Like for example, this front faired part, it does not have a lot of creases, and I don't know, for some reason it feels like it is a bigger bike because of that. And so I like that. The design is overall good. I like the way they have paid attention to even the smallest of things, like this tire hugger and the rear fender. I feel that they are very nicely designed. Let me just give you let me just show you. So you'll see like how the tire hugger looks like, right? It goes very nicely with the overall shape of the tire. Why I'm especially saying this is because in a lot of bikes, like the Pulsar series for example, I find that it is kind of slapped on. It is not properly designed, not properly thought of, and they just slap it on. So I like how Suzuki has paid attention to these smaller things. So yeah, I mean, design wise, the seats design looks good. The rear part looks very good. If you are seeing, the rear part looks very good, and the front faired part that kind of protrudes outwards, it makes it look very nice, I would say, like a big bike again. So yeah, Overall, no complaints with the design. I like the design. I like how the minimal stickering work is done. It goes very well with my taste. I like the handlebars layout. I mean, the design is very nice, very neat. I like how the instrument console is laid out. And yeah, the same from this side too. I mean, overall, I am very satisfied. I'm pretty much satisfied with how the bike looks like. I would say it's more of a mature design. It's not like lots of creases running in the design like the Pulsar or the R15, for example. I like how the bike looks like. Yeah, as I was talking about, like even the smallest of things, they have paid attention to even the smallest of things. For example, this sari guard. I would say that I know that most of you guys you remove the sari guard, but I would still say that it goes very nicely with the overall design of the bike. Why I'm especially saying this is because not a lot of companies pay attention to this. Like for example, if you would have noticed the CBR's sari guard, no? It is absolutely horrifying how they've designed it. It's like it makes the rear of the bike look like very ugly. So I like how they have paid attention to the smaller things too. So yeah, I like how they have done this kind of bronze treatment on the engine here, right? And the other side will have a better view. So yeah, so I like how this kind of bronze color treatment they have done. It looks very nice. I like this dual port exhaust at the back with this chrome kind of treatment. Looks very nice. The instrument console, I have told, it looks very nice to me. A lot of people have complaints with the size of it, but I don't have any complaints. I mean, I like how it looks. Feels premium to me. So coming to the front part, this is where most of you have a problem. So I would say that the overall design of the front part is good. I don't have any complaints with it. The only thing that I feel they could have done better was the design of the windscreen on the front. I feel it is too short to be, to have any sort of function. I mean, it's just too short. Even if you're tucking in completely to on the tank, no, at higher speeds, it still won't provide any good wind protection. So yeah, I mean, I know that it comes in the usability aspect, but still, I mean, even design wise, I would say that they could have designed the windscreen properly. I hope they take this up in the next iteration of the Gixxer and improve on this at least, because like this is the major problem that most of the people have, most of the owners have. The windscreen is just not up to the mark. So yeah, design wise, no problem. Apart from this windscreen, design is excellent. I would say they have nailed it. Overall, if you just can forgive Suzuki for the windscreen, the design is absolutely amazing. I mean, you'll fall in love with this design. It's really, really, really amazing, right? So yeah, that was about the build. That was about the design. Let's get on with the build quality of the bike. Let's talk a bit about what I feel about the build quality. So let's start with the instrument console first. Okay, I find this instrument console to be very premium. I don't know why. Let me sit on the bike. It'll give a better view. Okay, so again, as I'm saying, I don't know why I find this very premium. So the first point that I've noticed, and these kind of points will especially come from owners, because first ride impressions, they don't really pay attention to these kind of things. What I found is that this LCD, this negative LCD, it's unlike any of the negative LCDs you'll find on any of the competitive bikes. It's a different kind of negative LCD. So why I'm saying this is because this white segments that you see here, right, they're made of some special reflective pigments. I don't know what to call them, but what I mean by that is that whenever sunlight falls on them, it makes the visibility of this console even better. So it has some sort of reflective pigment in them, which makes the visibility even better when sunlight is falling on the cluster, which is unlike any of the consoles you'll see on any of the competitor bikes of this SF250. So this is I would say this is a very nice touch. It says a lot about the quality of the bike, of the build quality of the bike, and it's like a very small detail which most of you won't notice, but I would say like Suzuki, like they have done an amazing job. I mean, it's a very small detail which people won't even notice, and they've included something like this. It's really good. So I hope you can see. I mean, it's very sunny right now. It's quite sunny, not very sunny, but still the cluster has really awesome visibility. I don't know if it will be captured on the camera, but to me the visibility is awesome. And I've tested it. Why I'm saying this is because I've seen how the Dominas cluster looks like, and I'm pretty sure it you wouldn't be able to see properly the cluster properly in this kind of sunlight. And this is something that I have noted in contrast on this Gixxer, that the visibility actually gets better when sunlight is there's sunlight falling on the cluster. So really good, I would say. The cluster, I mean, this was about the build quality, so, and this is something that I had nitpicked, which I really like. So yeah, about the cluster, that was one thing that stood out for me. The rest of the function we'll talk about and the features and all. So yeah, the handlebar build quality feels absolutely amazing. The switchgear, everything, it feels properly, premium. The levers, everything, it feels very nice and premium. The handlebar layout overall, it feels like there's no afterthoughts happening here. It was properly designed and laid out. Very nice, very nicely built. The mirrors look good. The mirrors they look good, at least from this angle, also from the front, and they are of really nice quality too. I mean, these stems, these are made up of metal, so good quality there too. Let's get off the bike, yeah, and talk about the rest of the bike. What I find good about the bike. I mean, in terms of build, what I don't find good. So there's actually nothing which I do not like about this bike, at least in terms of build quality. Everything is very nicely, designed. It feels like it is nicely thought about and designed. This rear fender, this chunky kind of rear fender, I really like. This design of the fender. I told about the rear tire. I'll say again, I like how it is neatly laid out. It's not completely made of plastic. There's a metal, frame running behind it, which I would say is again good. These smaller things, Suzuki has paid attention to these smaller things. I really like that. This muffler feels good quality too. I think this is made up of metal too. So yeah, good quality overall. Yeah, overall everything feels very premium, very nice quality, very nicely thought about, designed, and I would say implemented. It feels very premium, everything. Yeah, I can't find anything which I can complain about. Everything I find very nice and premium. So yeah, another point that I nitpicked. So this tank fuel cap that you see here, right? This whole assembly, it is actually derived from the bigger Suzuki bikes. Okay, this is not something that they've designed specially for Indian market. When I say by Indian market, you know what I mean. They try to cut costs everywhere in the Indian market. So this is taken directly from the higher capacity Suzuki bikes. For example, the V-Strom 650. And why I'm saying that is because a lot of companies, they manufacture tank locked tank bags. If you don't know about it, I mean, so basically, like, you have an tank bag kind of attachment that fixes on this tank ring, and then your tank bag just kind of fits directly onto that attachment that you have. So it is very easy to mount and unmount tank bag like that. You don't have to mess around with straps or magnets or things like that, especially on tanks which don't have a metal tank, which cannot accommodate a magnetic tank bag. Those kind of solutions are actually very convenient because you don't have to mess around with straps in that case. So why I'm saying this is because if any of you are planning to buy a tank lock tank bag, right, so it will be very convenient on this Gixxer because it is derived, as I said, from a higher capacity V-Strom. This tank ring, and whatever tank bag is actually designed for the V-Strom, you can buy it for this Gixxer also, and it will fit just as well. So yeah, I mean, that was another thing that I kind of nitpicked, which I found really good. They haven't cut cost here. Overall, the build quality is excellent everywhere. I have no questions, no complaints about the build quality. It is just excellent overall. Let's continue with the third segment, which was the features, right? We'll talk about the features that we have on this bike, what I like, what I don't like, or the things that I wish Suzuki had included in the bike. So the first thing, they could have included LED indicators. I know, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of competitors, most of the competitors, they offer LED indicators right now in their bikes, and I know it's a cost-cutting measure, but I really wish they had included it. The second thing which I wish they had included was a factory-fitted hazard light system. Again, I know that you can get them fit aftermarket, but as I said, I mean, again, a lot of competitors are offering that. I really wish Suzuki had included it, because it is just a lot convenient to have hazard lights on. So what a lot of competitors do is that they fit that hazard light switch here in place of this headlight switch that is missing now. So that could have been done. I mean, I know it's not a big deal. So they could have included a hazard light. Again, I would say it's a cost-cutting measure, but I wish they had included it. So yeah, so these are the two things that I actually feel are lacking on this bike, right, which I've covered first. I wish they had included both of these, but yeah, I mean, we can actually work around with these things. It is not really a big deal. You can get them aftermarket fitted, but yeah. So now let's talk about the things that I like, the feature list, on this bike, which I like about it. So let us start with the console. Okay. I am again back on the bike. So okay, before we start on the console, I'll tell what all we get here. So it's a pretty in the switchgear, it's a pretty standard switchgear. You get the pass light, you have the dipper, high beam, indicators, horn, starter button, and engine kill switch. So pretty standard. Overall the quality is good, but I mean, it's a pretty standard switchgear setup. You get it on most of the bikes like this. Talking about the instrument cluster, I really like this instrument cluster. I said it before also, but yeah, let's talk about it, the things that I like. Overall it's pretty good. You must have heard about it in the previous segment too. It's overall very good. I wish there was one thing included, which was the engine temperature. So yeah, I wish there was one thing included in this instrument cluster which is missing, which is the engine temperature indicator. I wish that was there. It's not a deal breaker, but I wish that was there. But apart from that, the instrument cluster is just awesome. You have this sort of notification tab here, which is for notification, as well as your odometer and your trip meters. So you have two trip meters here, which I like. This is the clock running here. Gear position indicator, tachometer, speedometer, and this is the fuel fuel indicator, fuel level indicator. And this small little thing that you see here, which is empty, is for other kinds of notification, like your service due, things like that. So this is also I like very much. I mean, it's all adjustable when you get this notification. I have adjusted it to 4,500 kilometers right now. So every 4,500 kilometers I get a notification that your service is due, like that. So overall I like how this instrument cluster is laid out. It's very neat. There's the shift light also that they've included, which is basically like, this is also adjustable. You can set it based on RPMs when you want it to light up, to just give you like information that it's time to shift up. So overall instrument cluster is very premium. I very much like it. Yeah, so that was about the features that we get on the instrument cluster. Let's see what else do I like. So the fuel tank is 12 liters. I wished it was a bit more, because I mean, with this fuel tank I get roughly around the tank range of 400 kilometers. I wish it was more, but I mean, it's okay. There's no I mean, it's not a deal breaker again. I mean, it's okay. So yeah, you get dual channel ABS. That is also really good, but again, I mean, it's not something unique about this bike, because I mean, most of the bikes in this segment, they offer that. It's from Bybre. That's good. The rear disc size is 220 mm. I know it's hard to find on any of the websites, the rear disc size. because I found it difficult. I have measured it, it's 220 millimeters. The front disc size is 300 it's from Bybre again, which I like too. Yeah, that was about it for the features. I mean, overall, except for the major things are like the hazard lighting system and LED indicators. I find everything really good. Yeah, so the tail light is LED. I again find it very nice. I mean, it's very let me turn it on and show you. So the tail light is LED and it's very nice. I mean, I'm very much impressed with how the tail light looks like. It's sleek. I mean, it's classy. It's just absolutely fantastic. So this is how the tail light looks like. It is amazing. They have done an amazing job with the tail light. And this is how the front light looks like. The upper part and the side parts, they are for lower beam, and the lower part, that is for the high beam. So it's okay. The front headlight design is okay. It's not as good as the rear tail light design, if you want to compare, but it's okay. No complaints about the front headlight. I like it. So yeah, I think I've covered everything from the features, right? I do not think I've left anything. So let's get on with the next part. We'll talk about the performance of this bike. So that is
how
about
my
the
experience was
gear wise, and I find the gear shifting to be a bit rough than I would have liked. One thing that bugs me